All right. There we go. I just started OBS and Lightroom over to see if that'll fix lag issues. Welcome back. We're back to trying the stream again. I don't have a lot of troubleshooting ability as far as checking the stream connection, but I'm at least going to see if my programs are contributing to the lag issue. Alright, so it says that we should be good to go. There we go. Okay, if you guys are saying that we're better, then hopefully that was it. It could be just that these programs don't like communicating because Lightroom takes up so much of the computer's power. But we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna add a little bit more dodging in the face area. Thank you guys for bearing with me while I like struggle through basic fixes, but hey. Not perfect, but it's better. Alright, well, I did what I can. I might not make today's a really short stream, a really long stream, but I wanted to at least do a little bit. Here we go. Get rid of my ear piercing right there since Zelda doesn't wear earrings. Okay, there, fixed my face. Face is better now. Yeah, sorry guys, too much going on in this computer. Let me close anything that's unnecessary. There's another photo I posted just the other day. Ooh, there's one I haven't revealed yet. Oops. That was this one. This one I have. You have seen all of those. Okay, I'll close Photoshop and the rest of everything. I don't know if that'll help, but Adobe programs, man, they take up a lot. Alright, so this is more or less untouched so far, aside from what I just did to the face, so at least like from the start of the stream, you guys have seen me starting from scratch, more or less, I think. Alright, so I'm gonna just make some changes and just kind of fiddle around and see what I like. I need to turn the exposure up a little bit, but I don't want to lose the detail on the white, so I usually try to like set the exposure for the white and then change from there. Hello everyone. Okay, whatever I did helped significantly. Okay, cool. Well, thanks guys. I'm glad. Thanks for bearing with me while I fiddle around. So for me, mostly photo editing is just like a lot of messing with sliders and deciding what I like. Okay, and this does have some adjustments made to the camera calibration. Which I'm gonna rethink right now. Interesting. So I made these changes for a different photo and now I'm like reevaluating them to decide what colors I want to bring out. Which I think having this one be more green is more wintry. Welcome, Jackie. Yeah, I think Photoshop was just mad. I couldn't have both open at once. Okay. So these adjustments like kind of have to do with how the camera interprets each like color channel. And so you can mess around with them to kind of like change the color balance of a photo. But I try to make sure that whatever changes I make, it always like maintains that white balance. So hopefully we'll still be doing that. I want to find a way to make these darkest areas brighter. I guess I should be starting down here without blowing out all of the contrast in the photo. We'll see if I can accomplish that. Hey! Okay, so that doesn't appear. I guess I need to have my Streamlabs open. There we go. LinkFan donated $20 and Army of Ancients donated $20. Well, thank you guys both for getting the party started, as Army of Ancients said. I guess it's that doesn't appear in the chat, so I'll have to have my stream labels open because I can hear that, but I can't. It doesn't appear on my my phone. I'm sorry. Well, thank you guys. It is getting the party started. Did it appear in my progress bar? Oh, it did! Yay! $40. Thank you guys so much. So this is the stained glass window project is continuing my efforts in set design. I've been working on the flower wall, which is like so close to being done. I almost got it there last night before I got too tired to finish. And otherwise, I have a stained glass window, like a fake stained glass window that I'm working on, where I found a really cool mirror. I posted about it on, I think, Twitter, but it has it looks like a cathedral mirror with a frame, and it has all these interesting cutouts on it. And so I'm basically going to be filling that in. I took the mirror part out of it, and I'm going to replace it with like a plastic sheet. And the idea is to just like make a pretty fake church window to shoot Aerith with. So hopefully that comes together pretty well. Frame rate's still tanking. I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything I can do about that, but thank you for bearing with me. Oh, stop test. My computer was like automatically running programs that I did not want up. So that was probably contributing. So sorry about that, guys. I think that just started during the stream because of course it did. All right, I believe I have all of my unused programs closed now. Aside from my, I guess I'm using that for my music, my DJ Cutman, Radio Cutman. All right. Some people might need to refresh. Well, they've probably tried that, but if you're one of those people and you haven't tried that, then go for that. All right. I'm still messing with color balances. I haven't really found what I think is kind of the right color balance for this photo. I was messing around with the greens a lot because I didn't want them to be like jungle green. I wanted them to be like more like green. So the slider bars where you can like adjust individual hues together. Interesting. Yeah, I do want that saturation up. Maybe Oh yeah, I tried to close Skype earlier too, and it didn't because it wouldn't let it, but I have it closed now, I believe. Yeah, Skype is one of those horrible programs that like will do everything in its power to not let you close it and like continually offer you like new pop-ups like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to sign out?" And it's really frustrating. So, hopefully that's better. So I wanted this to be more of like a wintry feeling photo. The stuff on the ground behind me is actually all petals that fell off of trees. So this was taken at SakuraCon in last weekend of March, beginning of April. And so it was like cool outside, but it was not super cold. And we've just been kind of trying to fake it in photos. Here we go. I'll bring the shadows up over here. I had that turned way down for some reason. So that's actually wonderful to have the shadows way up. I don't need it quite that far. That's probably pretty good. I was using settings imported from a different photo to start with, and so I think I needed to just kind of reevaluate where those were. Better. It's also kind of hard to edit a photo when I have this light from my camera right in my face, but that's okay. Hey Jokerful Draws. Hey Divinicator. Okay, good. Alright, well then now I know Skype and Photoshop perhaps were the culprits. I don't need the contrast that low if I fixed it. Okay, I'll just leave it at 0. Alright, now to make it a little bit more interesting, I like to go to different tone curve channels and then kind of experiment with adding or removing different color channels from the shadows. I definitely like enhancing the greens in this photo, which I'm not doing by changing the greens. I'm actually doing it by now removing the reds, which I don't think I'm going to do that way. I will put some little spots on it. Oh, that's actually quite pretty. So now the shadows have like ever so slightly less red than other colors. Oops, that was not what I wanted. But I don't want it to be overwhelming. I want it to be pretty slight. Okay, pretty interesting. I believe there's a way to buy Photoshop directly and not through subscription, Divinicator, but I think it's like a better deal, at least for my purposes. I enjoy having it on a subscription because you constantly have the latest version. You don't have to upgrade, and you didn't like lose out on making a one-time purchase that then you don't have, that then you have to replace later when a new version comes out. So I don't know. I'm for the subscription model, but I guess it doesn't work for everybody. I should mess with that, actually. Let's go back to here. really what I wanted to just... Yeah, I don't even know if there's much difference. I'm like looking for subtle changes that aren't even necessary. What's everybody else working on today? Link Fan is drawing. Divinicator is looking for Photoshop. Sorry. Dry Erase Girl, loving the cool tone. Well, thank you. Yeah, having like a little bit of a color shift is really nice, but I think people overdo it. Hey, yeah, perfect. Speaking of overdoing it, did not mean to make that control point exist. Well, that's kind of nice to take out, to not make it too green. I don't know, I'm always like torn between how to color grade my photos. That's interesting. I don't know. Half my time editing photos has just spent like looking at things and making really subtle adjustments. So hopefully this stream doesn't bore you to death. But I am making important decisions for my editing. Interesting. I think I can leave that one as is. I don't know. It looks juicy to me now. Like, juicy is the term that always comes to mind when I think about like having that nice like saturation where it's like beautifully balanced but not overdone. I don't know if it's really truly there yet or not, but it looks pretty good. Although, what happens if I leave the green as is and then mess with the blue first? Then it gets too green and it gets too messy, and I don't really want to add blue either. Although that's kind of interesting.
Do you think you have a chance against me and all my men?
Kind of like that. I'm into this too. What is this song? Scratch File DJ Grumble. I love it. Alright, let me experiment. Color experiment. Yeah, no, I'm not into it. I like what I had before more. I'm gonna flatten this out. Usually with these, I found that I don't like editing all three. Like if I change colors, I usually only change one or two colors. And then generally by that point, the third one needs to stay where it's at. To make everything stay balanced. Otherwise, you're just like undoing things that you've already done with the others. Cool. Oh, that's right. There's nothing on the wish list today because I had filled the wish list with only flowers items, and then we made it to that goal. So instead of having a wish list item today, I just have the slider at the bottom for the stained glass window. That's just like my next goal. And I thought about adding the paints onto the wish list because I need to, that's like the main thing that I still need to buy, which would be like glass paints that make, to actually paint on like the fake stained glass. So those would be like $3 each, and then I just didn't get around to putting them on the wish list. So if you want to contribute to the stained glass project, you can do $3 and that will cover exactly one bottle of paint. And that can be a contribution. But I'm going to update the coffee goal and all of that too, so it's kind of shared between coffee and streaming, and trying to make that goal for the stained glass window and covering those costs. But I'm doing that like kind of instead of a wish list right now, because it's all going to the same place anyway. Marceline hanging out, just reading. Oh, thanks. Let me be a... Hey, I heard something. What was that? Our stream labels. Army of Ancients donated $30. Thank you so much. Here, instead of a wishlist item, this is my budget. Thank you so much, Army of Ancients. That's wonderful. And now you know exactly where it went, which was to cover stained glass window costs. And that's amazing that we're already... what is the... Oh, there I am as my own desktop background. Busted. We're already... Wow, like really far into the goal. I don't have the actual percentage up, but thank you guys. Thank you for supporting that goal. My plan is to try to shoot that stuff by the first weekend of May. So I feel like we're doing pretty well between the flower wall and the stained glass window. Those are like the two things I'm trying to finish. All right, I'm staring at this and I don't have any like major changes that I want to make in Lightroom still. Just having a little bit more, there we go, just frost it out. That's pretty, right? That's too much. Yeah, I might mess with more like selective colorization stuff in Photoshop, but I don't really want to mess with the vignette as of right now. So there we go, there's one photo. Let's take a look at some of the others. These are similar, that were kind of shot in the same area. But I mostly picked out like my very favorites. Oh, okay, that one's cute. I like that one. I don't know, that one's pretty cute too. This one looks a little bit more stiff versus this one is a little more natural. I don't know, maybe natural is not the right term. But anyway, this is the one I want to edit. Yay! So this one has not been edited. I'm going to try to copy and paste my all of my adjustments onto this one, and then we'll see if we like it or not. Huh. Well, I don't hate it. It's a good place to start. I'll make changes from here. You like the frosted corners a lot? A little bit too much. 35%. Aw, thank you. I should just get soldered glass, get colored glass and solder the thing together. Well, that would be a real stained glass window. It would be way more expensive than what I budgeted, and it would also be a lot heavier, and it would take a lot more time and a lot more tools. So those are the reasons why I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, stained glass is really cool and beautiful. It's just not what I need to do right now for this project, and it's way more of an investment than what I'm prepared to do for my purposes right now. Glamour shots? Oh my gosh. I remember those too. Those were amazing. Oh, you work with stained glass? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, that's Jen the man. You're awesome then. But yeah, it's too much. Oh, hey there, Wola Gwendana. Nice to see you here. We're just getting started. I kind of like where this is at, although the exposure is too much. I gotta make some adjustments. I just pasted these settings in. I try to adjust for the white first, because that's what loses the detail the most quickly. The quickest, that's what I was trying to say. And then fix it from there. I don't know, it's one of those things where it's hard to see. I think that one's probably pretty good for the code itself. But yeah, as much as I love stained glass, it is little bit too much for my budget and time, both for time and other resources. Okay, now I'm going to do some things. I didn't even look at this in the last photo, so I probably had weird spots. So this is like, just like a selective little oval that only affects what's inside of it. So I'm gonna use it to brighten the face and make it less dark overall. I really like the colors that the background is taken on. I wasn't really planning on doing that because I kind of made these adjustments for a different photo, but it came out pretty well. Colored plexiglass. I basically got a sheet of like frosted plastic, and on top of that I'm going to be drawing the design and filling it in. I actually have two colors here. These have been in my collection for a while, but I need to grab a couple new ones, different colors. This is all I have so far. This is Gallery Glass Window Color, which is designed to be used for like fake stained glass. So I have a head start on those materials, or at least having a few that I can kind of experiment with. I want to finish my design for it and like figure out what my shapes are going to be and how to draw it and what colors I want, and then I'll go and buy whatever colors those are. Yeah, this version of Zelda is from the DLC. She only wears it for like 5 seconds, but I saw it and I was immediately like, I must make it. And part of that just comes from the fact that I knew I would be wearing this to Katsucon. Oh my gosh, I almost knocked my water over. Katsucon is very cold most of the time, most years, so I wanted to wear something that was just literally a coat. These were for my face. I need to redo those. Okay, I think I'm going to try to make the background slightly brighter, and since we sacrificed a lot of the brightness in the rest of the photo in order to make the coat not overexposed, I'm just going to use this adjustment brush and kind of paint in some areas, and then not that much. Add a little bit more. Hey, there's that sound. I have to check for it. Hey, Bren Rowe, thank you so much for helping out. Says, thought I'd help out and donated $30. Well, wow. You guys are making really quick work of this goal, but thank you so much. I'm excited to get started on the stained glass window, and I have more cool things to work on from there. So thank you guys for the support. It means a lot to me that people actually enjoy seeing these set pieces that I've been working on, because I wasn't sure if people would think that I was just going overboard or if there was actually interest in seeing it come together, but it seems like people are interested. Thank you guys for supporting me. We're already halfway there on this goal that I was like, oh yeah, hopefully we'll do that by the end of the month. So thank you guys so much. I kind of like that. So I just painted in more brightness, basically. I wanted the surrounding features to be a little bit brighter without like losing the kind of moodiness of the shot as a whole, which I feel like it might be overly bright in some of these areas. That's probably fine. I like that a lot, actually. I'll need to reset this if there are any surrounding little blemishes of the face. Okay. So using this tool again. Let's see. Army of Ancients asked, says, you look best in natural situations. Well, thank you. But have you thought about doing blue screens to get the scene you want? I've thought about it. Taking the photo in front of a screen isn't the difficult part. It's the editing things onto, like, editing yourself onto a fake background is much more difficult to make that look natural and good. Yeah, that's really difficult, and it's really rare that people can pull that off. So for the most part, I haven't needed to do that. And also photography is a little bit different than videography in that it's much easier to separate a subject from the background. So I can do that relatively easily, depending on the costume and the wig, without having to actually shoot in front of like a green screen or blue screen or whatever. So I guess what I'm saying is I would do more of that if I were more confident of my Photoshop skills, but I'm more of a hands-on kind of artist, and so at least for now, I'd rather build scenery in the real world than try to place myself digitally into fake scenery. Both are cool, and I'm sure both have their uses and can create some really beautiful imagery, but my style, for now at least, is more going to be like making cool, interesting sets and backgrounds. Oh, Jan the Man, I'm glad that we did get to run into each other at Katsucon. That was a good time. That was a really good time. Oh wow, Anna's saying that in middle school, they taught them how to actually cut and solder stained glass things if they weren't little decorations. They were little decorations and not whole windows. That's still really, really cool. I can't believe you got to do that in middle school. That's really sweet. Are you talking about buffering in the stream? Like, is me zooming in causing the stream to buffer? If that's... Oh, that could be it. So yeah, it has something to do with these specific tools. Alright, well I'm gonna zoom back out and see if that's an issue. That's fascinating. Alright, well sorry to know that now, that it's just Lightroom, which is somehow still unsurprising. I'll see about fixing that problem more permanently once Jared is home, like getting more RAM for the computer. But I do want to look into that because I want photo editing streams to be more of a thing. So I will ask about that. I really like this color balance that we have. I actually don't want to mess with it. I will go ahead and apply this to the next photo. See how that looks. Yeah, that's actually pretty nice treatment to the colors, I believe. So I'm going to reset these. Knowing now that that is what is causing the stream to be messed up, I'm going to actually avoid using that tool. I can always go back and do touch-ups later, but just getting to the point where the photos are like mostly adjusted is probably the more interesting thing to see anyway. So maybe I'll go back and change some of my little bitty things here and there. Now this, I want to make sure that these shadows are not appearing on the coat itself. Or sorry, this is where I added those highlights and I'm like erasing them from the coat itself. Okay. This one I actually already edited. I've like released some of these images, but not all of them, and so I haven't gone back. The previous on that one. I haven't gone back to make sure. Oh yeah, see, Lightroom just like went into not responding mode because it couldn't handle me pressing one button. Yeah, it might be the blemish tool. Okay, well, good to know. I guess I'm just gonna have to look into that more permanently. I don't know if I'll be able to fix that before next week's stream because Jared won't be here, but I'm gonna ask him to help me figure that out by the following week. So I do want my editing streams to be a weekly thing. I hope anyway. If I can muster the energy to keep doing it every week. But that way it'll set me up with like new photos to post throughout the week. Oh, I did a lot of work to this photo actually in like trying to make the whites not be blown out and have the emblem and like the reflection still visible here. What was that? That was selective colorization. Okay, I'm gonna get a new one. And once again, just like make the background a little bit brighter because I don't like that it's I guess I'm not into that after all. I'll leave it on like one stop so it's like slightly brighter so it's like less of a dichotomy between the foreground and the background, but I'm not gonna mess with that too much. Alright, well, let's see what else is in this set that I feel like deserves a crack at life. That's so interesting. Yeah, Lightroom. Lightroom messing in with everything. So this is a photo that I cropped. I square cropped this for Instagram, and the reason why I was like, whatever, I'll just release a square crop photo. The reason why is because there was tons of people in the background, and Jared was working really hard to frame this one up, and it was really hard to like avoid all the people. I've got a bunch more of these photos. These are all unedited for the most part, that are all at these like crazy Dutch angles because Jared was like literally laying on his side trying to take them like this, right at the edge of that flower bed, and Jared was like on the level with the flowers. So that was kind of funny. I wanted to, here we go. I edited this one and posted this one where it does look more straight on. Or no, one of them, one of these. I guess it was the other one. This one. Was the one that I figured out how to get it cropped properly. But I also really like this one. It is definitely at a little bit of a Dutch angle, but I still like it. All of my colors and stuff have been adjusted here, and the main thing that I would update on this one is using that blemish tool, which is a ram hog. So I'm probably just going to keep looking for other photos to work on. Oh, awesome. Jan the man can hang out every Monday. Well, cool, and I'll see you here. But yeah, I'm going to try to do this every Monday because it gives me a little bit of a break from working on the same things all the time. And that way, because I know that photo editing streams probably aren't as interesting to everyone, and so that will give me more opportunity to, I can like work on just photos now and people will know exactly what they're getting into. Okay, this is one that I would like to work on. It's really similar to this other one that is another favorite of mine. And I did post this one, so you guys have already probably seen this one. This is a slightly closer shot in pretty much the same area, and I really like this one, but we didn't have a reflector or a flash or anything, and the natural light was coming from behind, so there's shadows on my face that I'm gonna have to work on. So I'm gonna do a little bit of dodging here. I've got the settings pretty low, but I'm basically just painting a little bit more light onto my face. And I don't want to like eliminate all of the shadows because that's what's like, you know, creating the shape of my face and the angles and all of that. But there is just like too much darkness on my face in general. The rest of the shot seems like it's pretty well enough balanced. That's not bad. I still need to use that blemish tool to really clean things up. I'm gonna see if I can get away with just brightening it. Oops, that's not what I want. I'm gonna need to turn it on. Yeah, if I turn that up very much, you start to see the splotchiness and stuff. So I can really only get away with a little bit so far right now, which is fine. Oh yeah, shooting with a shallow depth of field, it makes it easier to clone people out, says World of Wind on it. That is definitely true, because when the background's nice and blurry, then anything goes. Who knows what's back there? It could just be another tree. But yeah, it's much easier to get rid of people and stuff. That and the content-aware fill, chef's kiss. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, Jared is the one taking these pictures, and he says that he still feels like he's a baby photographer. Oh, never mind, that's this evil tool. And that he doesn't feel like he knows what he's doing, but I think he's definitely doing some things right. And I really like, you know, the photos that we've been able to turn out together. Let's see. Okay, so these settings are really similar. I'm really happy that he's willing to work on this stuff with me. And I think he's doing a great job. Even if he feels like he doesn't know what he's doing yet, I think that he's doing much better than he even expects. So I have praised him for his fledgling photography skills many times, but he still doesn't believe me. Yoshi Murphy, going on a date? Ooh, have fun. Enjoy your date. Oh, hey, Vontography. Photo editing streams are lame. That's right. Who likes it? Oh, hey, Declarations. This is my brother-in-law. He is a good photo boy. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that you guys have been so complimentary of his photo work. I think he's doing wonderfully. And he knows a lot more than he gives himself credit for, to be honest. So, yeah, I think that he does have a better idea than what he even is willing to admit. He does a great job with these. Like, every time we shoot, I always get some results that I really, really like. And photo shoots are always hit or miss. You work with anybody, and you're going to be spending a lot of time going through and picking out the best shots, and there's going to be plenty where you're blinking or making a weird face or whatever. It happens. So, you know, it's all about experimentation, just going out there and figuring out what you like to do. And every time we shoot together, I always get something that I like and something that I want to edit that's interesting. So, yeah. Anybody can do photography. It's just a matter of, you know, finesse and finding a style that you enjoy. Jared, for a beginner, straight killing it. Well, I'm glad that you think so, Vontography. I'm going to tell him you said that. I really want to submit to your photo critique series, but Jared says that he's not comfortable being critiqued because he's too new at this. So I disagree. I think that he's definitely ready, but I respect his wishes, so I'm not going to submit his photos. But I thought about trying to do some self-shooting and then submit that. We'll see. Zia Kiva says they're nice. Thank you guys. Spray and pray method, says World of Gwendana. Oh my gosh. Does that mean that you're just like spraying tons and tons of photos and wishing for the best? That's amazing. Okay, I don't have any... Oh, I do have some gradients going on this photo. So this one... Hey, that was a cheer. Declaration says, I think he's been doing great, and cheered 100 bits. Well, thank you so much. Okay, so this is a gradient that is brightening the photo in the lower corner, which is great. Let me turn that up a little bit. Yeah. And then I think I'm gonna need one kind of the other direction because the lighting is so unbalanced when we shot this. That's a different direction. So this is darkening the lower corner. I think this was left over from another shot. Well, that's actually kind of nice. So that can be quite a bit darker. And that really brings out the crisp detail down here too. So I'm all for that. I was looking at this upper corner and wondering if I should darken it slightly, but I think that part of the beauty of this photo is that like you can see that there's like kind of light filtering down over the subject and the way it's like darker on the edges. I think that there's like a direction of the light here that I need to keep intact, so I don't want to darken that too much. But I'm gonna kind of mess around with these gradients to see if it adds anything that I like. So that would be darkening it, and that's a lot. Maybe if I do just the very edge. So that way it doesn't feel like it's, the brightness is just like running off the page. I actually kind of like that. All right. I don't know if that made any sense or not, but I felt like the upper corner was like distractingly bright. Oh, thank you guys. I'm gonna screenshot the chat right now because I can do that, and I'll be like, look, Jared, look at all these people saying that you're great and that you should submit. Wolfgang is asking, would I ever do a picture depending on the character to make it look like I'm casting magic? Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool effect when people do it effectively. It's a matter of taste on how you apply those kinds of effects. I think that they can and do look really neat when they're done well. But I don't know that I'm not like super confident in my ability to Photoshop those kind of effects, so I generally stay away from them. But I also just haven't really done a character where that's really necessary. Because Zelda, she doesn't like Smash Brothers, but she's not really like fighting, casting magic kind of character. Okay, I'm wondering if I should do any more adjustments to this. I feel like there can be some, well, I already have made some adjustments in here with the tone curve, but these might just be pasted in from another photo. I'm going to, no, not start over. I'm gonna borrow the tone curve from this photo. Oh, it does look like it's the same. Or almost anyway. Okay, so this doesn't actually, well, I mean, it needs to be adjusted if I want to adjust it, but it doesn't need to be adjusted to match the other one. Alright, well, I don't know, I'm more or less happy with that. I like to take things into Photoshop too and kind of look at the colors there again. Oh, I might make the back like pinker. That's always a nice, fun thing to do. I'm not gonna bring the exposure down, but just to add a little bit of color to the back, because these flowers are nice and pink. They're pretty vibrant. That's really nice though. I might tone it down just a little bit because I don't want it to look over the top. I'm trying to find the sweet spot of like where is it believable of like being like nice and fresh and juicy, but also not just like looking like obviously over photoshopped. Wolfgang off to bed. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Good night. Thanks for coming to the stream. Thank you, S. Dagito, saying that the gloves look good. Thank you. I didn't make the gloves from scratch, but I did add the design to them. Hello, Divine52. Welcome. Ziakiva saying they wish there were nice flowers like that where they live. Yeah, this was taken at a convention at SakuraCon, and there's just like lots of beautiful vegetation there. It's a really nice place to do photos. There's a lot of like versatile environments, I guess. Okay, here's another one that I've already edited. That one's okay. I was like doing a series of multiple photos where I was editing them to match the color of the flowers, and I feel like with this one the red tones kind of went overboard into the skin and stuff. I'm not crazy about the other shots that followed it, so we're just gonna move on. Oh, here we go. Here's some more photos that I thought deserved to have me take a look at them. So this one I haven't really messed with at all. Oh yeah, this one's totally unedited. I have not messed with it. Okay, I'm gonna paste in settings from Nah, I'm gonna start over. It's okay. Is that from these photos? No, these were darker and I had to brighten them up. Oh, I don't even think I edited this one. The face is kind of at a less flattering angle compared to the others. So I think that was why I just kind of moved on and scrapped that. Pasting the settings did affect like some of this calibration and color adjustments I had made though, so I'm actually going to keep these and start here, although I'm not into how yellow this is, so I'm going to have to work that out. Does this have any odd spots that I need to adjust? Oh, here we go. The face brightness window. Doesn't need very much. So usually I'll make like, well, depending on the environment that we're shooting in, but I feel like it's really common to brighten the face, and so I'll usually have like a little bright face brightness bubble that kind of gets dragged around from one photo to the next. Someone photoshopped that tree to be the giant tree with a face from Breath of the Wild. The Deku tree. That would be interesting, but it's a little bit bigger than that. Okay, let's look at these things. I was changing some hues around here. That I feel like I can just reset all of them, actually. I don't love them. Although I do like making some changes here. And I do think having more green in the shadows is really good for this photo. So we'll leave it at that. And then let me look at what else I've got going on here. The green hue, I made quite a bit of adjustments to. to make it a little bit more like yellow toned, I guess. I can keep that. Hello, Drag Saw. Just got up. Ooh, what time is it where you are? Because here it is 6 p.m. So if you just got up at 6 p.m., then I envy you. I guess saturation. So green, I turned the saturation way up when I was working on another photo. I still really like it. It looks really fresh and green. It doesn't really bother me because it's not like overpowering anything else that's going on in the photo. Yellow does not need to be that highly saturated though, because I think that's what was like messing with the white balance almost. Okay. Let's look at the white balance again. So yeah. Alright, I think it's a little bit more comfortable for me. It's 11 a.m. where you are, Dragza. Alright, that's like a decent time. That's like a normal time. Depending on what your day is like. Okay. So the shadows are also way up here. And we're losing a little bit of the... Well, okay. So there's still definition here. I'm not turning it down all the way where that's gone. Because if I turn it all the way down, you just don't have any of that left. So I think that's a more comfortable position. I also think I'm just going to try to crop out this weird, like the edge of the wall. Which I can also do content aware to fill that in because I don't want to lose too much of the edge. But it bothers me that the photo is like really close. Oh, this centers it up a little bit better too. Okay, I don't want to move it any more than that though. So I'm gonna use this dreaded tool. Pardon the lag. Bear with me. There we go. I just did that instead of going to Photoshop. Hopefully that didn't make it lag too badly, but I used the dreaded spot removal tool to like add a whole chunk of wall. It worked though. What's the playlist today? The playlist is once again the DJ Radio Cutman. On YouTube, you can just search Radio Cutman, and it's a 24-hour live stream that's great for streaming as a streaming playlist. I kind of wish my coat wasn't on the ground. It was so close to just being nicely straight and hanging. Oh well, it still works. All right, what else adjustments do we want to make? Exposure seems okay, although I wonder... See, the gold on this coat reflects so much light that it's like missing from a lot of photos because it's just like lit up. And so I've been wanting to keep the exposure at a point where the coat is, like the details of the coat isn't lost, but I don't really know if it's gonna let me do that without just losing so much light in the rest of the image. So I'm gonna try to like paint on a section with a slightly darker setting. I'm also gonna adjust the whites. See, that doesn't like make it more visible though. Dang it, I hate this. And I've also tried turning the saturation up. I guess when you turn it all the way up, you can kind of see a difference, but it's really not a lot. Well, whatever, it doesn't hurt. Okay. Use radio filter. I could do that. Every time it lags, you take a shot. Yeah, let's see what a radial filter will do for us. I don't really need it over the rest of the image. mean, it doesn't hurt, but I don't want to go any further with it because it's getting dark in a lot of the rest of it, the image. Anyway. Got a little bit of a vignette going on. Can make it a little bit more intense. So when we took this photo, we were definitely trying to pass these fallen white petals off as snow, which you can certainly tell this close up that that's not what it is. But I might end up blurring that a little bit in Photoshop or something. I think I can make it work. Curves adjustment in Photoshop. Yeah, I'll give that a shot too. Thank you. Hello Zant, or Ant2 with X's on either side, probably. Okay, so I do need that to be a little bit higher, or you just lose all of the shape of the legs as far as the pants go. Okay, so I actually don't want to mess with the point curve very much. Oh, that actually works pretty well. I just took some of the highlights down here. This is one of those tools that just like the changes are so subtle that you have to like overdo them in order to really see them well, and then you go like drive yourself crazy like finding the exact right position for all of these sliders to be at. See, when I zoom in a little bit, you can see everything clearly, so that's a good sign. That's what I want. Okay, I feel like the jacket is in a lot better place, and now it can be honestly a little bit brighter overall. Not with this though.
I too once felt the feelings that you carry now. I question the thing.
Yeah, now the whites can go brighter. That's helping the image a lot actually, because now I've got that full range of contrast. Before it was looking really dull. So that's better. I feel like I found more of a sweet spot for like where the whites need to be spaced out. Hello Tin Hat Cat, welcome. Midnight isn't too late for coffee, asks Agent Eliza. No, of course not. I have midnight coffees all the time. I kind of like this shot. I don't know, what are you guys thinking? I've got like most of my base adjustments down. I tend to do that kind of stuff first, and then I go back and look and decide like, oh, do I want to add something special to this? Does this need to have snow coming down, or I don't want to mess with that. I've already got my tone curve, honestly. I've already set that up on other shots. I guess this one, the special thing I want to do to it is more like trying to make that look more like a coat of snow on the ground. A blanket of snow. Hello, the great bones. Drink the coffee, that's right. I've got my Gatorade, trying to stay hydrated. Alright, I'm more or less happy with that. Like, there's always the fine detail adjustments that I'm gonna make before I export everything. But I'm not gonna do that on stream. Oh, this is interesting because First of all, I can't show you before and after because if I click that button, Lightroom will just straight up crash because it does 100% of the time. But comparing these two shots that are side by side, you can get a little bit more of an idea of how drastic the changes were overall. So like this is the unedited version straight out of the camera, and this is the shot that we just adjusted. So very similar photos that we're taking side by side. And in fact, I'm just going to hit previous. And yeah, I'm more or less happy with those changes. I need to fix up some of the things that adjustments that I made for the face. Sorry, which one are you? Well, I guess both of them. Because this is a new photo, it will need its own adjustments, and that one was done. And then I want to remove the crop entirely or reset back to the original. There we go. Yeah, I may do a little bit more fine tuning to that in Photoshop as well, but those are in a pretty good spot, I think. Let's see how this one does with a previous paste. Check your donations goal reached. What? Did I not get the... I did not hear the notification. Oh my gosh. LinkFan donated $100 8 minutes ago and I missed it. I'm so sorry. LinkFan. Wow, you guys just got me to my goal and I didn't even see it. I'm so sorry that I missed that. Wow. Thank you, LinkFan, for single-handedly finishing that up. Backslash and just toggle between before and after. Interesting. I need to figure that out. Sue Denise, thanks for giving me a heads up. Agent Eliza, this is the Gatorade. Okay, so hitting backslash will just show me what? What did I do? Yeah, I think I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, so it does work that way. Alright, I didn't know that shortcut. Well, there's my before and after, but that doesn't seem... Well, I don't like it. I like the before more. Alright, well then now I know. I'm just gonna reset this photo and then work on it from scratch. Thanks for the heads up, Ontography. Major hype. I can't believe we got all of that. Oh my gosh, LinkFan is just like, yeah, whatever. I didn't care that you missed it. Thank you, LinkFan. Thank you guys for supporting me in the stream and getting me to my goal in one stream, even though I thought that that was gonna be for the rest of this month. But you know what? That's okay, because I have more projects in store. So that's awesome. That'll cover everything I need to do for the stained glass window, and that's gonna be my major project this week. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on that progress. Oh man, it's so exciting. Thank you guys. Okay, so I guess we're starting from scratch on this. Let's see what adjustments I want to make. Make it a little bit brighter. There's still some good detail in the coat. So I didn't lose too much there. I'm not crazy about the background though. Like, it's a nice shot of me, like, it's like, in the costume, it like shows... But it's not as good as some of the others because the costume isn't super in focus. It's like a fine portrait, but the background is just kind of boring compared to other stuff. I'm gonna move on, actually. I mean, yeah, these are both fine. They're just not, I'm not crazy about them. I like the kneeling photos more. Okay, well thank you, Photography, for the heads up. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Now I know that I can see my own before and afters that way. I'm really happy. Thank you guys for keeping me company and keeping me happy while Jared's gone. It's been wonderful. So I can bring up the brightness some. It's like hard to mess with it without overdoing it. That one's probably fine. I'll add a little brightening circle to the face, which needs to be... Well, that's not bad. Okay, so now I've got the light on the face without losing the detail in the coat. Bunny Hoodie says that they're rewatching Cowboy Bebop, and now when they say Julia, can't not think of my cosplay. Well, thank you. You know, that's always nice when people are like, I associate you with whatever character. Yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, I guess Julia isn't necessarily the kind of character that you always want to be associated with. So I changed the shadows down here, but I didn't mess with anything else. And I would agree that's still a good change for this photo, so that's pretty good. So I feel like I can add quite a bit of vignette to this because it's just not that interesting in the background. I've been so excited about set building. I can't even tell you guys. The flower wall, like, it's so close to being done. I really wanted to post finished photos today, but I wasn't able to, so I'm going to try to post that tomorrow. But I'm going to get it finished tonight, 100%. I'm going to throw the rest of those flowers on there. And then I can start doing the stained glass window immediately, because now we're already at 100% funded for that, so that's ridiculous. So thank you guys so much for helping me reach that goal during today's stream. It's awesome. I'm gonna keep streaming for a while, probably stream till like 7, which is another 40 minutes-ish, and then I'll go find some food for myself. But, yeah, good stuff today. You know, I'm gonna redo this. I'm gonna start with my previous adjustments and then make my own changes from there, which that actually helped a lot. Because I've already got some of my own local adjustments on here, and now I can revisit and reevaluate what I do or don't like. This is a good jam. Montography says that recently they've been selecting the subject and editing the brightness of the background of the subject individually. That makes that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can see that's a pain in the butt and time consuming, he says. And I definitely agree with that. But I can see why that's, you know, a wonderful technique. I think for this, I could probably get away with just the adjustment brush. Because it's all, that's actually a good plan. Just darkening my background a little bit to add that separation. Because I feel like that is something that I was struggling with in this photo, is that the subject and the background are not diverse enough. Like there wasn't that correct amount of contrast to really make the figure pop. So I think that helps a lot, actually. I don't need very much, just a little. Oh, that's nice. Okay, now I'm gonna look at the overall tone curve. I don't need that lowered highlight so much in this one, I don't think. I'm like trying to avoid my own ring light camera, but it's having the like effect of I'm like moving out of my own camera just in order to see the screen unobstructed. So sorry if that's annoying. No. I like graying out some of the blacks a little bit, but I don't like overdoing it to the point where you lose the image. Like you lose contrast. Okay, so the more I bring that over, I'm looking down at the legs and how you can really subtly see the separation in the two different legs. It's not very much, but it is visible there. So it's making quite a bit of difference. So in between here and here, there's a lot of tones that are being lost, like in the belt. Let's see what we can do about that. It's not bad. Probably looking at things that most people can't even see. Oh, hey! What's up? Miss Mellow photo is now here at the end. Miss Mellow, I'm towards the end, but I've got probably a good 30 more minutes of streaming-ish. I love how many of my photography friends have accumulated here in the chat room. I'm a little self-conscious now that I have so many talented people watching me, but everybody welcome Miss Mellow. She, as well as Vontography and World of Gundana, if he's still around, are all friends of mine who I have shot with, who do beautiful, beautiful photography that I think I've posted photos with all of you guys pretty recently. So if you want to see their work, just go to my Instagram and you'll be able to see examples from all of them from really recently. I'm looking at this like, what changes do I really want to make? So this is a dark spot that I've been moving around and trying to enable a little bit more of that detail in the coat to show up and not just get reflected away. That's helping. It ends up looking a little bit blue if I like over exaggerate the shadows too much, so I'm trying to ease up on that a little bit. Anyway, Miss Mallow was asking, have I ever played around with gradients? I have, but I haven't done that on these photos, so that's a pretty good idea. Let me see. So bringing up some gradients here. This one's just like a... Hey, there's a sound. The Timely Witch is subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much, Timely Witch. Yeah, so using gradients. Let's add some color to this photo. But what color? Okay, before I add color, let's add the gradient itself, which the light is coming from this way. Which this needs to not be at exposure settings. Now let's just mess around with colors and see what, if anything, speaks to me for this photo. So we've got the strongest tones here are, this purple's not bad, it's like a lilac. She's got a lot of yellow in the hair and green in the bushes behind. So whatever I pick for like the colorization of this photo needs to be in tune with those, or at least not clashing, which this is kind of an interesting, a warm tones. Anywhere over here, I'm just kind of dragging it around and looking at the different results. because there is so much green in the photo that a little bit of like red tone will create a color complement, which is nice. But I don't want it to be like really red like that. So this is just like a slight pink that is still adding quite a bit of warmth to like the ground in the background. That's kind of nice. But let's see, I also really liked this lilac color, but it makes it look more cool overall rather than creating the contrast. I don't know, I like to keep my stuff pretty subtle, like I said. I mean, I try to keep the colors at a point where it looks like they could believably really have looked that way in real life, compared to a lot of people I see editing where they just like splash random colors on it. I'm like, wait, why? Where did that come from? Miss Mallow says, give me props for streaming. When I finally get to streaming on Twitch, people will see every photo is me experimenting, and I never have a real plan. Haha. That's funny. Yeah, that's true. It is fun to it is definitely fun to create something that you weren't expecting. And in this case, I think that the gradient was a nice tip. It does add a little bit of something without really overpowering the image. It does add a little bit more interest to the background. Now, I wonder if I could employ that. How do I make the edit stick? Wait, here we go. This is the one. I want this to be my new done. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to start over. Boo, blah. When, okay. It was like in this range-ish for my color. I'm gonna look at some of these other photos that I just edited during the stream and see if a gradient adds any interest or if it just is a distraction. I do think it adds something nice to the photo overall to have those red tones, and I'm just moving it around everywhere. But I don't know that it necessarily needs to be in a gradient form. Like now I kind of want to just paint on the ground, but I don't necessarily like what it's doing on the face. But you know what, we can leave it right there. I still like it. I still like it more than not doing it, for sure. And I can add another one. Hey! That was Bits. Thank you, Bub the Digger. Saying, with 500 bits saying, finally catch your stream. Thanks for showing up. We've got probably another good 30 minutes of editing or so before I call it a night. It's adding too much. Okay, I might do some colorization to those leaves or the ground. But this is also the areas that I wanted to look snowy, so now I'm like rethinking adding a gradient to them. I'm gonna leave these, I'm gonna leave them be and then keep looking at other photos, but I do like what the gradient added to this one for sure. I feel like it just maybe is at odds with my snow idea for Photoshop. We'll see. Okay, so these are a couple of similar shots that were taken down at a very sparse patch of green. This one I did edit. This is like a more of a preliminary edit. I took this into Photoshop, added snow and some other additional edits. But I'm gonna copy these settings and paste them onto, oh wait, I just hit the wrong thing, didn't I? Undo, copy here. Copy these settings, that's what I wanted, and paste it onto this new photo, and then go from there. Oh yeah, that's super dark. All right. Let's rethink all of this. How is it this dark if the exposure is up? Oh, probably from the tone curve. And the blacks. Dang, how many adjustments did I make to this? Alright. Let's start messing around with this stuff first. Here is my little face window of face brightness improving. Which we definitely need that. I need to get like a reflector that I can take out on the field just to get a little bit more light in the face a lot of the time. We want to get a flash, but we just haven't done that yet. Oh, Miss Mallow wants them as prints. Well, thank you. I would like to reinstate doing prints now that we do more of our own photographs, but it's slow going. I've got too many things to do. Yeah, Photoshop is nice. It's a little bit easier. Let's see. But I like the batch capabilities of Lightroom and doing multiple things at once. Oh, there we go, because the shadows were down. So I need to bring the shadows way up, actually. And just all of it, actually. There's a lot of light in the face now that's too much. I'm looking at the coat again. Probably pretty good. Well, thank you guys for all the feedback in the stream. Miss Mallow, I would love to see you start streaming your photo editing process as well. I want to just start going to more photo editing streams in general and looking for people to kind of draw inspiration from. There, that's more like it. Now we're starting to get somewhere. When I stare at this kind of stuff for too long, I feel like I'm just going crazy in the end. Like, I don't know what looks good anymore. I feel like this one could definitely benefit for some experimentation with these colors. So I made some adjustments originally. Oh, it's lagging at this point. I don't know if it's lagging in the stream that you guys are seeing, but the adjustments are so slow that they're difficult for me to see. Like in terms of adjusting, like moving the sliders around in Photoshop, or in Lightroom rather. Well, I mean, I agree with these changes that I made to the original. Why do the photos still look so boring to me? They're not bad, I'm just I don't know, picky. Let's go up here to color. Looks like something is not as bright as it should be. Although I do think that the lower saturation on the orange is for the best. Divine 52, we'll see you later. Aries break, man, I wish. He was running around earlier. Aries! I'll see if I can get him to grace the stream before I end. What character is this photo? This is Zelda from Breath of the Wild in a DLC outfit that she wears. So that's why it may not be as recognizable as some of the other Zelda outfits, but it is Zelda. That's interesting. I didn't realize I had turned it all the way down over here. Definitely a more yellowy green is right for this. And we've got the saturation way up as well as the light luminance. That would be interesting to change it all, but it's not what I need. I guess I don't need the luminance up any because I had tried to make things a little bit brighter in other photography. Finding, closing Lightroom and reopening it every now and then fixes the lag. Yeah, I've already done that once in the stream, so I think it's behaving itself right now, but I may do that if it gets bad. Someone's Agent Eliza is like calling for Aries, like he's gonna see your chat comment and be like, oh, they want to see me. I mean, that would be pretty impressive if he could. I would be very pleased with him. It's like finding a weird happy spot between too much contrast in different sections of the photo and not enough, and like what you're making these really fine adjustments between like not being able to see things clearly enough or too clearly. I don't know. I've been editing for almost 2 hours now and it's starting to make my thoughts jumbled. But hey, I'm happy with the photos that we've been working on, which is nice. Alright, let's see what these things do. Oh, that's interesting. To have a blue tone to those shadows. I don't know if that's what I want. But it is interesting that that works with... Because we've got a lot of green and a lot of yellow, and then the skin is like very warm. But there's not a lot of blue in the image at all. So when you turn the slider up, it kind of has like a fascinating effect of separating those hues. I actually really like that. There we go. Now we're finally making things more interesting. Because it looks a little bit more cool toned overall, but you don't lose the vibrancy of the green, which I think is really nice. Let's see what else these have in store for us. I can also just add more green overall, which is kind of nice, and it has this like mattifying effect to it, but it might be too much. And when I turn it all the way down, I do like having more separation between the very darkest tones that are now a little bit more blue versus the greens that are already in the shadow. Hey, Army Rage.
I want to get out of this place.
All about those kitty visits. I'm glad that Aries has his emotes. They're very precious. Okay, so green we're not messing with. I just decided. Let's take a look at red.
But I'm the wrong guy for that job.
It definitely makes it warmer, which is counteracting our blues. Oh, that's super fascinating. Now all the shadows are like super red. I love these things. I love messing around with the different like color combinations you can create. But that said, I don't want to make it look quite like that. As interesting as it is to entertain.
I never knew who my father was.
I do like having this a little bit up though. That's actually really cool. Because we have a lot of yellow and a lot of green, but now there's like interest in the shadows. Instead of just being more of the same, they're more blue and red channels have been turned up. And so it kind of injects like a new color to the balance without sacrificing how pure or bright the green is in the other areas. So yay, okay, I found a balance that I really like. Good leaves, says Katrina Face. Well, thank you. Yeah, brown is a hard color to work with. Alright, let's see what else. Oh, this one I also need to add some brightness to the face that I haven't messed around with that yet. And I have different areas that I believe these were, yeah, leftover face edits from the previous photo, so I can just delete all of that. Because those are like localized edits for a photo that wasn't this one. Oops. So now we're closer on the face. I'm going to use no color. And slightly brighter exposure, and just paint that onto the whole face. Well, now it's probably lagging really badly. Hello, Unhero. All right. Oh, hey, I can actually do quite a bit of brightness without making it look too crazy. I don't know, what do you guys think? I still want to get into Photoshop with this one and do some more skin smoothing, and I haven't done any of that yet. But overall, brightness is where it's at. I'll brighten the neck a little bit so it's not like a harsh line or something. So just adding more brightness in general into the shadows of this area. Okay, I think that's the sweet spot. And the shadows aren't 100% gone. Like, I didn't totally flatten the face out to where it doesn't have those contours anymore. But it definitely needed a little bit more color balance with the brightness across the different areas. So I think I achieved that. Agent Liza is still calling for cats, and Link fans says they're wasting their time because Aries never comes when he's... Well, cats never come when they call him. But that's not true because Aries does, and now I'm like determined to prove it. Give me just a second. I don't want to scream into my microphone. Aries! Aries! Here! Alright, well, I walked around and yelled his name, so he'll either show up or he won't, but he's got about 10 minutes to prove his track record. Alright, let's move on to the next one. I'm kind of slowing down, or I've been going at a pretty slow pace. I'm going to try to stream right up until about 7 p.m., so I've got about 10 more minutes. It looks like a realistic painting of the picture. Oh, Well, I hope that's a good thing. Let's see. The face is too bright now here, which it didn't have this position properly. It's a little bit overly bright in general. Once again, I'm trying to set my exposure based on the jacket and the needs of the jacket rather than the needs of the rest of the face or other areas. No, this is not. I'm not keeping this adjustment. I just turned it up really bright so that I can see what I'm doing. Alright, perfect. I'm done. Just kidding. A more manageable brightness. I think that's okay. Behemoth incoming. Now I feel like he's not going to show up. Now, because I bragged about him and I was like, oh yeah, Aries, he totally comes when he's called. Now he's definitely not going to show up. Just to prove me wrong. I'm going to turn this back down a bit much in this photo. This one's not as dark and moody as the other one. I wanted to go. You guys want to help me choose my dinner? Let me know in the chat what you think I should eat for dinner, because that's my next plan of action. I'm starting to get pretty hungry. I don't know. I'm starting to lose stamina. I'm trying to make it, guys. Got a few more minutes. So this is the previous photo that I edited, and now comparing them, they're pretty different. I think I'm gonna look at them. This is also a slightly different area. Oh, actually, the tree in the background here with the pieces hanging down is where I'm standing in the very next photo. We walked down this area into the background, is now right here. And this one I have a much more crisp and cold feel to it, which is, I ended up editing snow into this photo later. This is like the preliminary version that I edited in Lightroom. Kind of the consistent issue I've had with editing my Zelda photos is that I keep shooting on these beautiful bright warm days where the colors that are naturally captured in the camera are very warm tones and very vibrant and yeah, just pretty warm tones. And so when I edit them, I want to bring those out and give it that juiciness, that juicy quality. And then, but it's at odds with wanting it to be a winter scene that feels cold or cool, or having that kind of crisp feeling to the color scheme. And so I'm just continually having to stop myself from going down the road of making things really warm, because it does look good in photos. Adding this gradient to the background here, I think really enhanced visually what's going on here, but at the same time it's well, that doesn't look very wintry, does it, Heidi? And that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. And I might take a minute, I might take some more time to keep editing these photos. Generally what I do for my photos is that I'll edit things through in Lightroom, and then after I do that, my very favorite photos get also run through Photoshop, where I'll do like any other additional corrections or adjustments to them. So anything that you saw here today, if I decide to go through with like publishing these individual images, then they'll probably see some more edits before they get posted, but I like what I've got. I feel like I've mostly picked through this set as far as editing the best ones, and the very last ones that I'm working on now, I'm like not feeling them. So I'm gonna go ahead and just end this. It's 6:56, so I made it almost to 7. It's pretty good, and I definitely pulled some more good shots. I think this is my favorite one. It still needs some face edits to brush up the skin and all of that, but I really like this one where it's got the kind of like teal muted colors going on. I don't know. I like that one. So I'm gonna leave you with that one. But thank you guys for hanging out. Let me check this chat again. Oh, you guys were giving me dinner recommendations. That's right. Sushi is a good option because Jared doesn't like sushi that much. Eat something with vitamin D. I took my vitamin D today, so I should be good. Get a pizza. Oh, that's not good. I mean, it's good, but it's not healthy. Feed the Katsukan gazebo? Seriously. Alright, well, I'm definitely going to entertain these food options. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for helping me get to 100% of my goal in one stream, which I was not expecting at all. But thank you guys for supporting that, supporting the dream, and making this stained glass window happen. And I'm going to hopefully have some cool progress to show you guys soon so that, you know, it's all worth it. And I'm going to try to do a new photo shoot. So my goal for the rest of this week is to do one new photo shoot just like on my own, and then next Monday hopefully have some fresh shots to edit. So that's my goal. But I will see you guys at my next stream, which is Wednesday evening, and we're going to be working on Arwen again. I'm not sure what part, but it'll be Arwen. Alright, well, thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye. Wait, no, wait, I'm not ending the stream. Wait, Aries is right here. Aries just showed up. Aries? Aries, look! He did come out, he was called. Oh, you're so good. You proved me right. I knew how good you were. Alright, now we're gonna go enjoy the rest of our evening. Okay, bye.